Have you noticed a big kind of inequality stance from your own perspective in athletics?
Absolutely, and I suppose in athletics we're lucky in one way because like the men and the women compete on the same day, so there's no discrepancies that way. Probably similar to rowing and some of the events, like everyone is competing on the same day, so coverage is going to be the exact same and different things like that. But across the board, as in like sport as a whole unit, there's definitely an awful lot of inequalities and different things like that, and like an awful lot of it comes back to media and what the media are promoting and what the media are jumping on. Like say there's GA on, say like prior to all that's going on at the moment, like you have GA on all the time, and you look at the Sunday game on Sunday evenings and how like what allocation for women is in that segment of sport, like, and we see these household names across the men in GA all the time, and everyone gets to know the players inside out. Same with the rugby. If you're on the television week after week, you're a household name in terms of like sponsorships and different things like that. And I always remember Alison Miller, who was a former Irish rugby player, used to be coming down to us for different speed sessions and stuff like that, but she used to always say like she would see herself in comparison to the male rugby players and what she isn't getting and what they are getting and what they're fighting for. But she always said you have to be better, not bitter, and that's literally one thing that stands with me, because you want to fight to create your own story and not get caught up in that whole thing. But like it definitely comes down to coverage. I would have some young girls reach out to me, and like I always want to help them because I've gone through so many years of it, and I've had the ups and I've had the downs, so I don't want them to make the same mistakes. I don't want them to drop off. And it can be hard for girls when you go into the college or when you're fighting, trying to balance, say, college or school work, time of leaving cert and training as well. And they find the pressures, and then there's an awful lot of like social influences and peer pressure that way and dropping off. So,
but everything you said there is, I mean, it's so powerful. And I think what you said about reaching out to, you had someone that was ahead of you and you were able to reach out to them, and now you've taken on that same approach with younger women. That sense of like sisterhood, that's what's going to help people move on. And I loved your phrase of, was it be better, not bitter?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, what an amazing approach to have.
Yeah, Katie, I'd love to get your kind of take on how you found it with your own sport. You've gone from, a few different sporting realms too. So how have you found it, or how do you still find it in terms of your opportunities maybe?
Yeah, so I think Phil really hit the nail on the head there, to be honest with you. And like she said, I am lucky enough that with the rowing, like we all compete on the same day, and even in my own boat class, like it's a mixed double, so like literally I should be rowing with a man, and like that really equalizes it. It just shows how progressive the sport is getting, which I'm so lucky that I can be part of a sport like that. But obviously that's not across the board, like, and I think what Phil was saying there about like it is improving, and it is about just like that consistency of trying to get the coverage, and the only way to get the coverage, like Phil, I just think that sentence is so brilliant. Like there's still so many aspects that are tough, and I think in sports like GAA and especially like rugby, I find that a really difficult one. Like there's a massive difference, say, between the girls and the boys. Like my brother be a rugby player, and I can just see from watching them and the coverage they get, and like like the boys could be playing the exact same match as the girls, and you wouldn't even know the girls are playing that day, whereas the boys would be like up front and center, and like the disparity is still there. But I do think what Phil was saying, like it is improving, and I just hope that it does keep going the way it's going, and that everybody takes on that line, be better, not bitter.
Yeah, that's it. That's our key takeaway. We're done. The interview's over. No, but it's definitely a super insight, and I think I never thought of it like that the two of you ultimately compete in the same day as the men, or to your point, Katie, you're in a mixed boat anyway. So it really is a thing where, okay, yes, of course, women have to band together and support each other, but I do also think men have to get involved too, and they have to be part of changing things. It's definitely worthwhile everyone wanting to make the change as opposed to one gender wanting to make the change. But also, I thought another really good point from yourself, Phil, was in terms of it's not all about winning. And Kinetica as a brand, one of our kind of mantras is it's not whether or not you win, it's how you win. And it's all about like I suppose the grace that you bring to it and the honesty of your effort. And I suppose on that note, is there a piece of advice you'd give to younger athletes that, maybe are going through a phase where both of you were at one stage where you thought, you know what, maybe this isn't for me, or maybe I don't want to dedicate my time to this. Is there a piece of advice you'd give to boys or girls who potentially are in that same situation today?
Yeah, I would definitely say just like explore your options. Like there might be another sport out there for you, and don't be like afraid to try. So you might be like 16, 17, you could be in your 20s, and like you might think, oh, it's too late to try a new sport now, sure, I'm too old and I'm not going to get the hang of it, or I'm going to be in there and everyone knows what to do. Just spur you on and give you that new energy to come back to it as well. But I definitely think it's so important to keep some sort of sport up. You don't have to do it competitively, but it's just there to mentally keep you going, to physically keep you going, and just to have that healthy balance between whether it's work, whether it's school. Yeah, I would definitely encourage anyone to just get involved in something, try it. Don't be like confined as in like, oh, my friends aren't doing it. Do it for you, not for your friends, and do what you want to do and enjoy it that way.
Oh God, Phil's coming out with all the advice. We're going to change your name to Oprah, I think. Katie, what about yourself?
Yeah, so I suppose my bit of advice would be that I found, like, when I gave it up back in 2016, I think I wasn't planning my days right, and I was kind of running home like, oh, where's my gear, where's, and it was stressing me out in that way. Whereas when I took it up for the second time, I went in with more of an attitude of kind of like, right, I'm going to do this and do it right. And I had planned my time for study, I planned my time for training, and I actually planned my time for fun as well. Like, so my bit of advice is kind of
fun. The best kind of
fun. Fun today. No, I actually was joking with my mom earlier. Like sometimes I would almost like plan being unplanned, so that I would have a week. I was like, right, this week I won't have a plan. So.